My dad, he was just a lieutenant, so more common soldier, and so that's what I'm running into the most often is just people thinking it's covered and they're going to get it upon death, and
it's really not.
That's not the case.
Happen.
That's not the case.
Welcome to the Agent Q&A. We got a lot of questions, and we got a special guest here. We got your host here, John. We got Joanne. We got Albert. And we got a special guest, Derek. So the reason why we have him on, we are running to a lot of clients, and there's been a lot of confusions as far as what's covered and what's not, especially when we're dealing with veterans, right? We see clients, they're former military, they've served, and then we would get these objections whether, okay, well, the military will take care of me, the government, the VA will take care of me. And so as the insurance agents, what is really covered? We have a special vet in our house and who's really well informed about it and has all the details from the websites. We'll go ahead and ask Derek the questions, and Derek can help us and answer and clear the confusion. So first question then is, what is covered? So if I'm a veteran and we are dealing with the senior clients, right? They're in their 50s to 60s, so they may have served 10 years, 20 years ago, and they come in and say, I'm covered. What does that even mean? What do they really get covered with?
Yeah, so a lot of people, a lot of vets will mistake their disability rating with their coverage for life insurance. So, if I hurt my back, blew out my knee, got blown up, whatever it may be, the VA will assign me a disability rating, 0 to 100%. And a lot of people will be 100% just because of their war injuries, and they think that means that they're fully covered. Really what that is really for health insurance. So I mean, they get a pension. They get their health, their health coverage taken care of. But as far as life insurance goes, they're really not getting anything other than the $796 for a burial plot allowance. They'll get, the 21 gun salute. They'll get some doves release and a folded flag. And if they want to be buried in the national cemetery, if there is room at their local one, then the VA will take care of that. But I mean, that's, they're becoming a lot more full.
So, okay, we're in Los Angeles. Right. I hear from what I know, it's only in the Riverside area that's still available.
Yeah, the Los Angeles one is full.
Correct. So if I'm a VA, I live in Carson, or I'm a veteran and I live in Carson and I pass away and I served in the military, what's covered for me now here? So I get a plot.
So you get the plot. So if you die of a service related death, which is becoming more and more rare because, I mean, especially with the vets that are not, being deployed anymore. If you're service related, you get a little bit more. If you're hospitalized by the VA at the time of your death, that goes from $796, and then you get an extra $300 for a burial plot. So you're really about $1,000. If you don't die from a service related death, you're just getting the $796.
So define that. What is service related death? That means I'm in duty. I'm currently enrolled in the military.
Yeah,
so I'm still active.
Let's just say you got blown up in Iraq or Afghanistan, whatever it may be, you get flown home and you die directly related to the injury sustained while you were in that capacity, or even on the military base here in the United States. So that's a service related death. Now you can't, say, let's say you got, let's say a lot of the people for, 50, whatever from Vietnam, and they die from, a heart attack. Well, that's not service related. So that would be a service related versus non-service related death.
Okay, so imagine someone in Nam and then they had like the Agent Orange or something. Okay, so that they died later on. Is there a time frame from a service related to non-service related?
So that's where that disability percentage comes in. So if it's in their medical service record, then they can be traced back to a service related death.
Okay,
and they'll pay a percentage or the full amount.
Oh no, they'll just still pay the. So if it's service related, it'll be $2,000.
That's it.
And it's reimbursement. So your family still has to come up with the cost, do the whole burial, go through all of that process, submit the receipts to the government, and then they'll pay you back at their leisure. And who knows?
Time frame, 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah. Who knows?
Okay. So when you say they have a plot, what the plot is there? What about like the opening, the closing, tombstone? Who's bringing in the body? Is the government picking it? So if I died at home, what's the government going to do? Are they going to pick up the body, or are they charging me for that?
No, yeah,
send me to Riverside.
Everything the government pays you is a reimbursement. So you still have to pay for everything, and they're just going to go, here's your $2,000 check. if it's service related. If it's not, here's your $796 check.
So if they decide to go in the veterans
National Cemetery.
Mhm.
If they decide to go that route, then they have to make all the arrangements themselves. They have to, like, as far as what type of ceremony and or what to pay for and all that stuff. And then the government, then afterwards, the VA benefits will then reimburse them after.
Correct. Yes.
And they only reimburse them a $2,000 cap. Like that's it.
If it's service related. If it's non-service related, again, there's so many little like ifs and ands. So if it's non-service related and they're in the hospital from, if they're hospitalized by the VA is like, hey, you need to be in our hospital, then they get $796 for the burial plus a $300 like an extra stipend because they're in the hospital. If
Okay,
they're
that's
not in their hospital, it's just the $796.
So it's better for you to die in the VA hospital. You get that extra
If you
$300.
can, if you can get them to hospitalize you. Yeah. And then not only that, but there's like 6 more if and ands. So you have to pay for it. You can't be reimbursed by any other government agency. The veteran can't have been dishonorably discharged. So they have to have left in good standing. And then there's like 7 other things. I mean, we can read them off. I can definitely shoot the link in the chat or to you guys. But it's a lot.
Is that the one that we have in
Yeah.
Google Drive? Is that all still accurate?
They've updated it since then. I think that would be a good thing to revisit and look at. Yeah.
Can you hear this banging noise or no?
We got some contractors
cool.
working on some
All right,
stuff.
perfect. So it's not going to be on our call. We're just hearing banging left and right.
Just
Any other
background.
questions specifically on the service related?
No.
Okay.
Well, I just want to reiterate because
Yeah.
a lot of times we do run into a lot of veterans that claim, oh, I don't need this insurance. Like when we call them on a lead, they filled out some information, which I'm not so certain that they think that they thought they didn't need it anyway because they still filled out a form
Right.
Yeah.
in spite of the fact. But then like when you get them on the phone, a lot of times you just got to look into the client psychology. Like they're trying to see what they can get away with for free if they can get some extra stuff.
Mhm.
And that's not really our department. We're insurance brokers. We're here to figure out what they need and then try to provide them with. But a lot of them are so certain. They're like, oh, how much is this? Oh, I didn't think I had to pay anything for this, or I thought it was going to be discounted, or I didn't think it was going to be whatever. And they're like, no, I think the VA covers everything.
Right.
And they're just so certain. I'm like, okay, you don't know anything about how much life insurance you have. You don't know how much it costs for a funeral. And you're just assuming that you can have this all taken care of. Like, where did you get this idea?
Yeah.
Right. But I think that idea is like in a lot of the veterans' minds, and they really believe that they are going to get all of their burials taken care of. But the reality is that that it's all regulated, like Derek is saying. So they do have to meet like certain criteria in order to even get just simply $700.
Yeah. It's an
From that.
over
So-
government reliance.
Totally. Yeah.
Which my heart totally goes out to
There
them.
are like
know.
there are other options though. So, a lot of vets also might be confused with when you're in the military, you get something called the
SGLI.
SGLI, Serviceman Guaranteed Life Insurance, and that is an increasing term product. Goes up to 500,000. They just raised it,
Right.
but every couple of years, their price is going to increase.
Right.
Once they get out, they have 190 days to
Yes,
Keep it
VGLI.
or
transition
to-
it over to VGLI, which is the Veterans Group Life Insurance. Again,
Yes.
still increasing payments.
Wow.
And,
now
and it's
because-
only a whole life.
But wait,
No,
did you
that's
just
a
say it's a
term product.
term? He said it's a term and it's increasing.
correct.
No, that's for SGLI.
Oh,
No, VGLI.
yeah, because they have to convert. So
Veterans
that-
Group Life
Conversion. I'm
Insurance.
sorry.
so
Yeah.
they're
Conversion.
converting
is
into,
whole life.
Correct.
that
So
would-
a lot of people will think
Wow.
they have that, they transferred over, but then because of the increasing payments, maybe they didn't, keep track of it or whatever it is, and that policy
Ah,
lapsed.
And that's a term. So
Correct, and it's a term. So, but it can go up until I die. It's like 90 something or whatever it is. The VA just created a new product January 1st called
2023.
VA Life. And
Right.
that's a $40,000 whole life option, also increasing payments. So
Wow.
it's competitive rates, but it's a guaranteed issue product. Somewhat similar to AIG, where they'll give you a percentage back if you die early, before the 2-year graded period
It's
is
an
up, but
increasing term.
they don't
That's
tell
all I
you
know.
what it is.
Yeah. Let me Joanne's getting confused.
Oh,
Let me
there-
reiterate 3 products.
Thank you.
There is an SGLI.
Uh-huh.
SGLI is for service related. So that means you have to be inactive. So you could be like, going to Afghanistan, going to Iraq. You can get up to $500,000 of life insurance.
Right.
So that's good because it's discounted. It's for all servicemen, and it's really, really cheap. I looked at the link. You can get like a 500,000 for a 35-year-old's like $35 or something, right? But as you get older,
Exactly.
50 cents, it's super ridiculous. It's,
It goes
in the
down.
thousands.
So I'm saying like it's a
It's a 5-year rate bands every 5 years. Yeah. Then once you're out of the service, you can't get the service related. Now you have the veterans one. It's called VGLI. Right. So that's actually not the conversion. You're converting from service to veteran, but it's still a term product.
Right.
And that's
it's still
not
increasing.
automatic. It does not do it automatically for you. You have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
which
then
most people don't.
they don't
I
because
never
they
knew
know that
about.
it's going to be an increasing premium.
Yeah. So converting allows you to go from a group coverage to individual coverage without medical conditions within the first 160 days or 190 days you mentioned.
Yeah, it was like 180, I believe.
180 days.
Yeah.
Right. Now that term though, it's also convertible to a whole life later on if you wish. Right. And then now they came out with the VA life.
Is it like a 10-year or 15-year like other policies? You know how like
When you can convert it,
yeah, when can they convert it?
that I don't know.
There's a link. I looked it up. There's a link for it. But the funny part is there's only certain insurance companies and the agent has to call the insurance company to convert, like New York Life,
agent or
Prudential. I mean, the client, the
veteran,
insured. Yeah.
right? Wow.
And there's
Okay.
So you
one
can-
thing to confuse you.
Yeah.
That just
The
sucks.
SDVI, which is a service disabled veterans life insurance. That was
Wow.
the old whole life product. So if you were 100% disabled, you could get this for free. So they would give you life insurance for free. That is set to expire 2 years after the VA life was created. So
So there's no more free insurance.
no,
In 2
no one's going to
years,
get the free
VA
insurance
life.
anymore. But if they have it, they already have it, and they'll have it until January 2025.
And then it's how much? 10,000?
Yeah, it's 10,000, but they get it for free. So it's just like, here you go. Sorry that.
That happened
got
to you.
hurt.
But you're
Sorry, you're
20s.
disabled, but by the way, you got to die 2 years from now to get the free 10,000 certificate.
Yeah.
And is that only if
That's
you
like kind of heartbreaking, honestly. I'm
did-
sorry.
it
Like
is.
I'm just like, wow. Like
Yeah,
that
for all the sacrifices that all
yeah, for all the
military
sacrifices that
men and
you
women-
guys do. I'm sorry.
So,
Yeah. I was
Going back to that idea real quick. I mean, so that's only if they're disabled while they're serving, right? So like if they become disabled at a later point on their own after they're no longer in the military, it doesn't
No
matter.
longer eligible.
They're not eligible for that.
Ah.
It's a service-related disability.
Service disabled veterans life insurance. Yeah, but I mean, you couldn't even sign up for it. It's completely gone.
anyways, yeah, it's gone now.
Yeah.
It's gonna become obsolete, right?
Well, the signups are already obsolete, but the product itself will.
Okay, so you can't get it anymore.
Oh yeah, you
But
can't
if
even
still
sign
had
up for it.
You got 2
Yeah,
more years left.
Wow.
correct. Yeah.
And then what they're doing is they're
Okay.
turning it to the VA life. Go get it, go buy it.
Yes.
what
And
you're
if you do have if you do have the SDVI, the service disabled veterans, and you want to sign up for the the VA life, the new one, you have to forfeit the old one. So you're
Why would you
forfeiting.
do that when you're forfeiting a free one for a paid one?
Yes, you are forfeiting it, but it is gonna, you're not gonna have it in 2 years anyways. So
And it's a little bit better because you can now
Yeah,
get up to
approved
40,000.
beforehand
You can increase the
also.
amount.
Yeah. But it's still 2-year graded is what you're saying, right?
2 year graded with an unknown percentage of return if they die for their first 2 years.
Unknown percentage.
Yeah, just
If you guys enjoy, I'm saying it too many times.
Thanks for joining us so far. That's all I remembered.
We can continue to share with other people. We probably need to redo it, right? Hey guys, thanks for joining us. If you guys have found this stuff helpful up to this point, or you guys would like to see some other stuff,
Please like and subscribe and create a comment so we can cover that next topic.
And continue watching the show.
So this is a benefit where we can throw the clients into that position if we can't help them better with as far as premium of AIG. But this is where the AIG is great because they don't have to pay it forever either, right? If I sign someone up, it'll say you're maxed at age 82, 83, you're paid up. You don't have to worry about it, or
Yeah.
they could double stack. Okay.
So quick question, because I really don't know in terms of like an increasing term, like just like number wise, how much does an increasing term kind of increase? Because you guys, is it every 5 years that there's an increase, or is it every year there's an increase to the premium?
well, I guess increasing term is kind of a confusing term because there's a
Yeah.
decreasing value term, which is which people get for their mortgages typically, or to
Yeah.
have a decline. They know they're going to have declining,
Of course, but
you
if
know,
this is increasing, so it's going to be increasing based
increasing
off
in
of their
terms of rates,
age,
not in terms of value. So it's
right?
increasing. It's banded term, which means every 5 years the rates will go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question to expand on too, because we see other policies out there. If you guys are reviewing policies, you will see 20-year term policies, 30-year
Right.
term policies. But if you look at the first page of the policy certificate, it will say good until age 95. Okay. So that's the expiration. So sometimes agents can confuse it, or only term companies embellish it and say this is permanent, it's good till 95, but it actually will increase the premiums
At that.
Yeah, so that's what increasing term means. So there's a confusion of expiration date and increasing bands rate.
Got it.
Yeah, because there's some
Okay.
that it's like it could be like a 30-year term, but only 10 years of it is guaranteed. And then
Yeah.
after the 10 years, you'll still have the coverage, but then the rates will keep jumping up every year, every 5 years or whatever,
Wow.
however they have this set up.
Right.
And that's pretty common with a really prominent term company that's really prime
Yeah.
in the country of America.
Yep. So here's an example. So I'm on the website you were asking about. So this is the SGLI, the service related one. So if a 29-year-old gets the policy, they're covered from 29 to 34, right? A $500,000 coverage is $35 a month. But from 30 to 34, it'll jump up to $45 a month. So it goes up by $10. But if they get up to like 70 to 74, that 500,000 is 1,130 a month.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, like that.
So the clientele that we're dealing with, let's say we deal with someone, in their 60s and they're looking for 500,000 coverage, it's $495 a month.
Yeah.
Well, since you guys are all working with veterans, and I see
Right.
Jason on here too, he also helps out a lot of clients that have served. So now that we know this information, if we speak to a client that says like, hey, I know about the VGLI or the
SGLI.
SGLI or all these
Whatever
other
it is,
different
yeah.
options that we have, I already have this. What's the advantage of going with a plan that we have to offer versus them
Oh.
sticking with that?
Like, yeah.
So I would say it would be a double up, right? So as Derek mentioned, it's a reimbursement. You still have to pay out of pocket. So our life insurance will cover all of the insurance needs, all of the funeral arrangements or anything else. Plus you'll have that on top once you get a reimbursement as well.
You get the rate locked in. You never have
Yeah,
to
you
worry about
never
it going
have
back
to-
up again. You never have to worry about it expiring. You never have to worry about
Right.
having to do anything. It's like set and forget it.
And you don't have to
Yeah.
rely on the national cemetery either. So if you don't want to use their cemetery, you do have the life insurance to spend on anything.
Whatever you want.
Jason, if I can have you come on.
Yeah,
You got a special case.
I got a question actually.
Okay, go
Just-
ahead.
So y'all were saying the 700 or
96.
something like the 796, that's reimbursement. Are you saying the VGLI is reimbursement too?
No, that's separate.
Like you got to submit stuff before you get it?
No, the reimbursement stuff, what I was just talking about was what veterans get for free.
Right.
It's just a seven, yeah.
The 796 or 2000 if it's service related. Okay.
Right.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, and then plus the VGLI, they're paying out of pocket on
Right.
that.
Okay.
So I just wanted to expand on your family situation. I believe it was your grandfather, right? That served in the military, and he was higher up. If you could just tell a
Yeah.
little bit about the story.
Yeah.
When he passed away, was there
Yeah.
anything special that he got?
Yeah, so my
government?
grandpa was a rear admiral, and so he's in Arlington Cemetery, which that was all technically he earned that one, which a lot of like lower rank people think they earned, you know what I mean? Like and whatnot. But so you have to get accepted to get into Arlington and a whole shebang, but his was for the most part covered somehow. I don't know all the details with that. My dad, he fought in Vietnam, and then Agent Orange got a cancer from it and passed away. And we were fighting for a while just to get some type of reimbursement, saying it was military related, but they wouldn't do it. And then it just got to the point where
It wasn't worth the fight.
$1,300, you know what I mean? And then it took over a year just to get that $700. It's not worth it. It's almost like literally not worth it to submit stuff, do all this and that, and then you get the $700. It was literally 13 months after he passed. Like it's stupid, but
So if a client doesn't have the life insurance we're offering, and
Right.
they're relying on that reimbursement, man, they could be sitting in the
That's
morgue
foolish.
for a minute.
it's
Some
foolish.
of them aren't even waiting on the reimbursement. Some are expecting to use that money to be able to pay for the
For the
services up front,
service.
right?
Right.
They're counting on that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So my
Wow.
grandpa, that's kind of a unique situation because he was pretty high ranked, but my dad, he was just a lieutenant, so more common soldier, and So that's what I'm running into the most often is just people thinking it's covered and they're going to get it upon death. And it's
really
not-
not
that's not the
gonna
case.
happen.
That's not the case. You got to fight for it. And then it takes months to get it. And I don't know if that's common, but that was back in 08. So I don't know. That was our experience with it in my family.
So I guess it would be good to have like probing questions for the client. Okay, you think you're covered. So if you died today, who's picking you up? Do you have a phone number that you guys are going to call? Do you have an 800 number? Your wife will just pick up the phone and say, come get the body, drive him to Riverside.
Send me the check.
Or who would she even call?
Yeah.
Right. Who's your contact? You think you're covered, but you're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
It's not really
Yeah,
helpful.
when I do it, I always ask them, I go, hey, do you have the SVLI, or were you lucky enough to get, I'm sorry, were you lucky enough to get the SVLI, or you currently have the VA Life? And if they say no, then you go, oh, okay, so you just have the normal 796 free benefit from the government that we all get. Cool. So what this is, and then lead into like that. That way you're not really probing,
Yeah.
like kind of
Yeah,
going
because
too
you're
crazy with
questioning
it.
like what do you have? Like you're just trying to kind of
Yeah, well, it's asking them and also informing them, hey, you're getting 796, maybe
Yeah.
300 extra if you die in their hospital, but
That's a good approach. You're tactful. You're not adversarial about it and say, hey, no, you're not. You're not getting
no,
this.
yeah, it's
like,
no different
what
than
do
the
you
work
have?
insurance.
Yeah.
I just want to take this moment to thank all of our service members and our military personnel that have served this great country. I mean, we don't take that for granted. And, none of this is a statement of what they deserve or what they don't deserve. I mean, obviously we believe they deserve more.
Yeah.
That's not really our call. We don't have any control over that situation. But this is a pretty common thing. And our job here is to try to help put all this information out there so people can be better prepared and we can help educate more people, because while the military is a very niche thing for the people that have served, I mean, there's a certain brotherhood and certain camaraderie or certain type of bond that ties them all together.
Mm.
But we came from a company that serviced union members,
Right?
Different associations, and all these people. I mean, same thing, same thought process. They just all thought, oh, why do I need to get additional insurance? I already have insurance through work now.
Mhm.
And then we're like, we understand that, but it's not portable. You don't take it over with you when you retire. If you were to get fired, if you were to change employment, you don't have this insurance anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I don't think that's how it is. And I'm like,
No, I'm covered.
based off of what? I don't understand. Like, where are you getting this information that people are just hoping that they're going to be covered?
Forever.
So I mean, right. And we dealt with, and then for nothing, without paying anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is just not how the economy works. This is just not how those employers want to handle it. Like
Mhm.
that, like they all have a bottom line, including the military, which is,
Yeah.
it's
That's an expense, man.
it's run like a business.
Right.
There's a budget concerns and everything else. I mean, I think it's just important for people to just understand the differences, and the more information that we have, the better that we can approach and better questions we can ask our service members and our former military, that we can just help paint the picture for them and help them understand, okay, you have this much coverage, or you only have this, which doesn't cover what you're expecting. What can we do to help you with the rest?
Right. I think there's a statistic about like there's 50 vets that are buried in the National Cemetery every day. So imagine if the government, from what the clients are thinking, that it's going to be all paid for. An average cost of a funeral is 15 to 20,000. Do you think the government is going to shell out 15, 20,000 times 50 every single day? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make financial sense.
Not to mention they're running out of real estate there.
Right.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to bury bodies on top of the bodies. Last other questions. What is covered? So we have the vet. What's covered for the vet, and then what's covered for the vet's kids or spouse? Derek.
That is a great question. Actually, I do have that. It's escaping my mind right now. I was not prepared for that question.
I saw you
I
pause
did.
for like the look.
I was like, are you pulling up the
Man,
form
this
with
is a well thought out answer
information?
that he's gonna give us.
I did have it. I don't have it in front of me.
Out.
You got like a
They-
10-second delay.
Peter sleep.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good one. You got me. How dare
Got
you?
him good.
Just act like your screen froze.
Yeah, right back.
Bad connection.
I'm gonna get to that
Stop
question.
moving. Yeah.
Static.
How about we jump off this call when it's over? I'll look it up and then we'll go back and re-record it. And you can just put that in there.
Or how about this? This is a nice tease for next week.
Yeah, we'll have the answer for you guys next
So
week.
what was that question again?
So aside from the veteran, what is covered for the veteran's spouse or their kids? What are the survivors get? Because I hear you're able to bury a spouse or a loved one with you, But then what happens now, you know, if they
If
remarried,
spots are-
they divorced, who's covered, who's not, who gets that 796, the original spouse or the new spouse and all that stuff.
That's good. And no need to rush, Derek. Let's make sure that we get the accurate information so we can
Yeah.
share this with the rest of the agents that run into these situations.
Any other questions, Doug? I know you're a veteran as well.
Thank
Anything
you
you'd
for
like
your
to share?
service.
Yeah.
He's just typing.
Who's that? Oh,
Said no for the spouse, the new spouse. I have a question, but I don't know. I don't know if you can hear me because of my.
Because of his son, I'm looking for a new, I'm looking to start a website. Is there a certain web host that you recommend?
No, but I would just check on Chat GPT. You could tell Chat GPT to create your whole website for you, and it'll just. That's what Yoel did.
We could talk offline.
But I would say if you do have a Facebook, start creating your Facebook page and put some pictures in there. Okay. And so now it's connected to your profile. So instead of just a regular website, it's automatically connected. So they'll see you, they'll build the credibility of you and your Facebook plus what you're offering. I would start with that. And then your social media as well, your Instagram.
Yeah.
That's like the new
Social media
business
is
card.
free 99.
That's the new business card. And then maybe get on Threads. Just kidding. Any other questions? Go, Daddy. Thanks.
Yeah. I created my own site on Wix.
Wix. I've done
Wix?
one on Hostinger.
Wix.com,
Yeah.
wix.com. It was pretty, I mean, it was pretty simple.
Yeah, I've used Hostinger before. That seems pretty easy.
Never made a site. No. Because I was just thinking, it's like,
I
So-
actually did mine on Hostinger for myself, and I did it with their AI. They have like an AI that kind of helps you build your website, and it kind of just did it for me within a couple of minutes. But then you have to just like tailor it. So I guess a lot of the also Wix has
Yeah.
an AI also that helps
Yeah.
you, I think.
Well, I just want to say this. I mean, creating websites
Not yeah.
seems cool because I created my website. And I think it looks pretty good because I shared it with you guys. I'm like,
Good.
not bad for someone that had no idea what the hell they're doing.
Yeah,
I don't remember even looking at it.
You saw it,
you did see it.
Okay.
but
That was 2 months ago.
Derek's seen it. So, but the thing is, having a website alone
Right.
doesn't really do anything. You have to
doesn't.
figure out. You have to have like a concept.
Right.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with this website? How am I going to drive traffic here?
Right.
Yes.
What do I want to accomplish with this? There's a
Yeah.
lot of different things. So just having a website alone,
You
it's
just
not going to
need-
do
yeah.
anything because I created that site that I think looks pretty good, but
If
doesn't
you
really,
have
doesn't really
traffic.
have much functionality.
Yeah,
in the current state.
Because that's my reasoning for never creating one. Because the search engine optimization, right? If you go on Google, how can you tell Google to visit your website if somebody's typing life insurance? There's so many. Just type life insurance. What's going to pop up first? It's going to be all these like optimized sponsored
Yeah,
ads, whatever. Who paid Google to be the first one on the browser?
And again, I will be the first one to admit I'm not optimally utilizing it.
Mhm.
You know, so I mean, but then again, I'm like, I haven't really put out a real concept of what I ultimately want to do with it
Or
and,
you
and
haven't
how I
really like
drive
kind of-
traffic to it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. I think like that's the that would be like a key thing is like when you are creating a website, like have in mind how you're gonna get your clients or how you're gonna get traffic to the website. So that way they can
Yeah.
come to you.
I
The-
think
the why is still more important than the how
For
and the
sure.
what.
right.
Yeah.
So I think that's where social media is really powerful. You can create a
Right.
link tree, attach it to your bio. Now you create your sponsored ads, your content, things that we're putting out. If it goes on video, it's easily shareable. Our content, if somebody needs it from any other life insurance agency, they can share it, and then it'll have the original content on it. They can either do the dual what do you call it, the collaboration, or they have the
Right.
split
The
screen where
duet.
the duet. There you go.
Yeah.
But they'll see the original content. They can click on find you. And then once they click on your bio, then they can click on the link tree. Then they can click on one of the tabs to book an appointment with you. So like a lot of agents are getting free leads out of that. Then the website. So any other questions? We're good? All right. Thanks, Derek, for showing
Appreciate
up and teaching us all these tricks and things. Where would you go on the website? Just the last part for any new agents that want to go research it for their own. What's the main website for the VA?
It's going to be benefits.va.gov.
All right, perfect.
And then we'll be updating that information on our Google Drive. So if anyone that has access to that, just click on that and it should get you on that information.
All right, guys.
Cool.
Thanks for hopping on.
Appreciate you
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
See you guys next week.